Hey the internet, this is Lock. Did you hear about these MMOs they have now? I've been playing one, it's called EVE Online. I'm still a little sick, but my wife was kind enough to supply me with a cocktail of very interesting drugs and a comically oversized energy drink, so let's do this. While I've dabbled in the past, I've never played EVE seriously, which means I have just enough knowledge and experience to romanticize the game without ever feeling like I really understand how day-to-day life can be in New Eden. It's a game that gets an awful lot right, in my opinion, both from a design perspective and a sort of core foundational principle perspective. The fact that it's quietly and steadily grown over 12 years is definitely a testament to this. That sets it apart from even the most successful of its peers. It's a game that knows exactly what it is and who it's for. Most people won't like it, but for those that do, player retention and satisfaction is really incredible. It's a game I imagine we'll be hearing more and more about in the coming years as more indie MMOs emerge and hope to plant a strong foothold in whatever particular niche that they're going for. As sandbox systems, player-driven economies, and the idea of players as content becomes really the norm, EVE will be the game many people reference back to in the way World of Warcraft pops up when we talk about that particular MMO style. So while I can gush about EVE all day long, there is one thing in particular the game's never quite got right despite the best efforts of CCP, and it's something that I hope the medium will shake off rather than try and continue to embrace. Considering the likely audience for this video, it probably won't be a popular opinion, but I think it's worth having the conversation regardless. Anyone who has tried EVE on a whim, on a free trial, whatever, if you haven't, I definitely recommend you give it a go just to see it for what it is. For a brand new player, the learning curve looks like it looks like you're pressing your nose against a cliff. It's just there, it's huge, it seems like there's no way. It's pretty brutal, even with the introductory missions, and the game really expects you to go out of your way to learn for yourself, even in the first minutes of the game. Now, this baptism of fire is sometimes held as a badge of pride, and not just by EVE players. Other games that I will also shower praise on all day do this. Dark Souls, DayZ, Minecraft, Dota 2 as well, kind of. They're all real modern classics that will throw a player to the wolves completely unprepared. Now, if you're like me, you've been playing video games for, what, a quarter of a century, you're probably not particularly fazed by this. You might like it as well. We tell ourselves the game isn't holding our hand, it's treating us like an adult, and there's definitely some truth to that, but it's important to remember there are plenty of people who would love to engage with our hobby but feel like they can't for this same reason. Personally, I'm in the rather remarkable position that most of my co-workers are avid video game enthusiasts. You know, it's our primary pastime, it's the thing that we talk about the most at work, and even within that group, there are some who have no interest in a From Software game on principle, let alone a sandbox MMO like EVE. And these, I mean, some of these are guys in their 20s who are working part-time. So if we can't, if you can't get them, what chance is there for everyone else? Now, while these early trials in games, you know, they're great for fluffing your ego as a player. Basically, that's what it's for. It's the humble brag, isn't it? It's the the start's so hard, it's so hard, but once you get through that, it's contributing to an exclusionary culture. For all the benefits that it has, it puts up a barrier. And my point is not that more hardcore experiences shouldn't exist. That would be silly. That would be a silly thing to say, and I acknowledge that. My point is that we're getting to the point where this approach could be accepted as a mainstream idea, as if it was universally accepted and universally liked among people that were interested in playing video games as a hobby. You know that RPG publishers right now are telling developers to make their game more like Bloodborne, or more like Monster Hunter. And again, these games are amazing, but we can't pretend that they aren't niche experiences. We also can't pretend we want to go back to old school style difficulty, because it was a difficulty that wasn't for our benefit as players. Arcade machines chewing through your pocket money were not designed with your best interests at heart. When they moved to home consoles, those punishing games on the NES in the early days, it was that difficulty existed to artificially extend what was, because of technological limitations, a very limited experience. Now, these devices are no longer necessary. But Shovel Knight and Volgar the Viking are awesome, so take from that take from that what you will. Ultimately, I want as many people to be a part of our hobby as possible. I want everyone who wants to engage with it to feel like they can, and I want that number of people to grow. If the next trend for the industry is to retreat to an imagined core, raise the drawbridge on the clubhouse, ultimately everyone loses. So while I can shower EVE Online with praise and all the other games I've mentioned, I think if we really want to be treated like adults, we could be doing a lot more to consider the needs of others and considering the long-term health of our hobby. And for some of us, the lifestyle that goes with that, rather than applauding our personal instant gratification. To me, being in a position where you don't need your hand held means that you have a free hand to help someone else. Being treated like an adult carries an expectation of responsibility for others in a less privileged position. Now, if instead of that, we're selfish and we avoid responsibility for those other people, what does that make us? There's a certain irony there that I thoroughly enjoy. So, do you think that games as a whole should strive to be more inclusive and accessible? Do you wish that you could talk more about different games with more of your friends? Or, do you derive the sum total of your self-worth by bragging about how hardcore you are in comment sections? I guess we're about to find out. Hit like if you think this is a conversation worth having, even if you disagree with me. I think it's something that we should be talking about, as the vocal minority, the people who yell on forums all the time. I think it's important for us to be having a conversation about this. You can subscribe to this channel for all manner of wonderful things that will change your life forever. And I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Bye!